These dolphins know exactly what they are doing. This is a pufferfish. When threatened, it releases a neurotoxin. Dolphins figured out that a small dose doesn't kill you, it just changes your perception. So they bite it gently, just enough. Then they pass it to their friends. Scientists watched an entire pod take turns with the same pufferfish for 20 minutes straight. They weren't hunting it, they were sharing it. After contact, dolphins float near the surface, barely moving, staring into nothing. Scientists call this intentional behavior. They are the only animals besides humans known to seek altered states for pleasure. It is one of the most shared animal stories on the whole internet. But how much of it is actually true? Here on Wild Planet TV, the familiar stops being what it seems, so subscribe, because the real answer is messier and far more interesting than the clip. To understand it, you need three things: a famous documentary, a dangerous poison, and a very clever animal. Let us start with the animal. The bottlenose dolphin is one of the smartest animals in the entire ocean. It has a large folded brain and a rich social life. Dolphins live in groups called pods, and they cooperate, teach, and play. Play is the key word here. Dolphins are famous for playing with things for no obvious reason. They blow rings of air underwater and then chase them for fun. They surf the waves pushed ahead of boats, seemingly just to enjoy it. They toss seaweed, pass objects back and forth, and invent little games. Young dolphins, like young humans, are especially curious and mischievous. They explore the world with their mouths, testing anything new. They also learn behaviors from each other and pass them down. In some places, dolphins carry sponges to protect their snouts while hunting. That habit is taught by mothers to their calves, a kind of animal culture. So we are dealing with a curious, social, playful, intelligent animal. An animal that experiments, copies its friends, and repeats things it enjoys. Keep that profile in mind, because it makes the pufferfish story at least believable. A bored, clever young dolphin poking at a strange puffer is not a stretch. The real question is what happens next and why. And for that, we need to look at the pufferfish itself. The pufferfish is one of the strangest fish in the sea. When it feels threatened, it gulps water and balloons into a spiky sphere. That makes it hard to bite and hard to swallow. But its real defense is not the spikes, it is chemical. Many pufferfish carry one of the deadliest natural poisons known. It is called tetrodotoxin, and a tiny amount can be fatal. Gram for gram, it is far more toxic than cyanide. The poison works by jamming the signals inside your nerves. Your nerves fire using tiny gates that let charged particles rush in and out. Tetrodotoxin plugs those gates, so the signal cannot pass.
In a large dose, muscles stop responding, including the ones you breathe with. There is no everyday antidote. Doctors can only keep a patient alive and wait. In Japan, pufferfish is served as a famous delicacy called fugu. Only specially licensed chefs are allowed to prepare it. They trim away the most poisonous parts with enormous care. Even so, careless preparation has harmed people over the years. This is the poison at the very center of our dolphin mystery. Now here is the part that makes the story so tempting. Some poisons are deadly in one dose and do something very different in a tiny one. In extremely small amounts, tetrodotoxin has even been studied as a painkiller. It can dull nerve signals without shutting them down completely. So the idea goes like this. What if a dolphin could take a dose small enough to feel strange, but not to die? That is exactly what the famous footage seemed to show. The story exploded thanks to a BBC wildlife documentary. The team used hidden cameras disguised as fish and other sea creatures. These spy cameras could drift among wild dolphins without scaring them, and they captured something nobody had filmed so clearly before. A group of young dolphins gathered around a single pufferfish. Instead of eating it, they mouthed it with surprising gentleness. They nudged it, held it briefly, and passed it from one dolphin to the next. The pufferfish puffed up, releasing its chemicals, but was not torn apart. Then the dolphins did something odd.
They hung near the surface, moving slowly, seeming almost dreamy. Some appeared fascinated by their own reflections. To the filmmakers, it looked deliberate, careful, and social. The narration suggested the dolphins were using the toxin on purpose. The idea was that they wanted a mild, trance-like state, and that they were sharing the experience, taking turns like friends. It is a genuinely charming and slightly spooky piece of footage. You can see why it traveled around the world in days. It fits a story we love, that animals are more like us than we think.
But a documentary is not the same thing as a proven fact. A camera shows you what happened, not why it happened. And when scientists looked closely, they were far from convinced. This is where the fun really begins. Let us take the exciting version seriously first. Could a dolphin actually be getting a buzz from a pufferfish? For it to work, several things would all have to be true. The dolphin would need to control the dose very precisely. Too little would do nothing. Too much could be deadly. It would need to know that this specific fish causes the effect. It would need to want that effect enough to seek it out. And it would need to do all of this on purpose, not by accident. Supporters of the idea point to how gentle the dolphins were. They did not treat the pufferfish like food or like a threat. They handled it with what looked like practiced care. They also point to the strange, floaty behavior afterward.
And to the fact that the fish was passed around, not hoarded. If all of that is real, it would be genuinely remarkable. It would mean a wild animal deliberately seeking an altered state, not for food, not for safety, but for the experience itself. If that idea fascinates you, comment the word puff below, so I know you are here. It would put dolphins in a very exclusive club, a club that, as far as we know, mostly contains humans. It is a wonderful, mind-bending possibility, but wonderful possibilities still have to survive some hard questions, and this one runs into several. Here is the side the viral clips almost never mention. Many scientists are deeply skeptical of the getting high explanation. Their first problem is the poison itself. Tetrodotoxin is not known to be a pleasant substance for anyone. In humans, low doses tend to cause numbness, dizziness, and fear, not joy. There is little reason to assume a dolphin would enjoy it either. A woozy, tingling, half-frozen feeling is not obviously fun. It might simply be mild poisoning, which is a very different thing. The dreamy floating could be the dolphin feeling unwell, not blissful. The second problem is proving intent. The footage shows gentle handling, but gentleness has other explanations. Young dolphins mouth all kinds of objects carefully while exploring. A pufferfish is fragile and spiky, so rough handling would be unpleasant anyway. Passing it around could be play, curiosity, or simple imitation.
None of that requires a hidden goal of getting high. The third problem is the documentary itself. Footage is filmed, selected, and edited to tell a gripping story. A calm, maybe, does not make exciting television. A confident tale of drugged dolphins absolutely does. This does not mean the filmmakers lied. It means a striking clip is a starting point, not a conclusion. To really know, scientists would need controlled, repeatable studies, and so far that hard evidence simply is not there. So the honest verdict is a firm, we do not know. But let us zoom out, because the bigger theme is very real. Humans are clearly not the only animals that end up intoxicated. All across nature, animals bump into mind-altering substances. Birds sometimes eat berries that have fermented into natural alcohol. They can end up clumsy, disoriented, and unable to fly straight. In cold northern forests, reindeer have been seen eating strange mushrooms. Some of those mushrooms are well known to affect the mind. In poppy-growing regions, wallabies have wandered into the fields. Officials once reported them behaving oddly after nibbling the plants. Some lemurs bite toxic millipedes and rub the ooze on their fur. It may repel insects, and it may also give them a pleasant buzz. Bees, fruit flies, elephants, and monkeys have all met alcohol in nature. So intoxication in the animal world is genuinely common. But here's the crucial and honest distinction.
Most of these cases look accidental, not deliberate. The bird did not plan to get drunk. The berries simply fermented. Seeking an altered state on purpose is a much higher bar. If a friend loves a good animal mystery, send this straight to them. And that is the exact bar the dolphin story is trying to clear. Proving deliberate pleasure-seeking in an animal is extremely hard. It is the difference between stumbling into something and choosing it. We can say animals get intoxicated. That part is beyond doubt. Whether they chase it for fun is still an open question. This is one of the best unsettled puzzles in animal behavior. So why does this particular story matter so much? Partly because of what it would say about the dolphin mind. To deliberately seek an experience, an animal needs an inner world. It needs to remember a feeling and want to have it again. That is a big claim, and dolphins are one of the few animals we would even consider. They pass habits down through families, like the sponge tool. They have signature whistles that work almost like names. They show clear signs of self-awareness and mirror tests. They cooperate, they play, and they clearly get bored.
An animal that gets bored might well go looking for novelty. So the pufferfish question is really a doorway. It leads to a much deeper one about animal consciousness. Do other minds feel curiosity, pleasure, and boredom the way we do? The honest scientific answer is that we are still finding out.
That uncertainty is not a weakness of the story. It is the most exciting part of it. The clip gives you a tidy, thrilling answer in 1 minute. Real science gives you a better question that takes years. And the question is this: how rich and how strange is the inner life of a dolphin? We are only beginning to truly find out, and every honest answer starts by admitting what we do not know. So think again about that viral clip of the floating dolphins. The simple version says they are getting high for fun, case closed. The truthful version is more careful and much more interesting. We know dolphins are curious, social, playful, and clever. We know pufferfish carry a poison that is deadly in the wrong dose. We know young dolphins were filmed handling one with strange gentleness. What we do not know is what it felt like, or whether it was the point. The myth hands you certainty. Nature hands you a mystery, and the mystery is the more honest and more beautiful answer. The dolphins may or may not have been chasing a feeling, but they definitely made us question how much we truly understand them. The next time you see that clip, enjoy it, but keep your curiosity sharp. The most amazing animal facts are the ones that survive a second look. Some are exactly as wild as they sound. Others turn into something even stranger when you dig in. And if animals bending the rules is your kind of story, the next video is about a creature that survives by pretending to faint. The opossum can drop into a trance so convincing that predators lose all interest. It is one of the best performances in the entire animal kingdom, and it is next. Every week, we take one animal you thought you understood and flip it completely. The opossum and its great vanishing act are waiting for you next. If this made you look twice, subscribe and never see these animals the same way again.